grass still green, and a few surviving roses grown tall and spindly by now, but still budding bravely. December of this year of our Lord 1141 had come in with soft-stepping care, gentle winds and lightly veiled skies, treading on tiptoe. "Like all those shifting souls who turned to the Empress when she was in her glory," said Hugh, grinning, "and are now put to it to keep well out of sight while they turn again. There must be a good many holding their breath and making themselves small just now." "Bad luck for his reverence the papal legate," said Cadfael, "who cannot make himself small or go unregarded whatever he does. His turning has to be done in broad daylight, with every eye on him, and twice in 1 year is too much to ask of any man." "Ah, but in the name of the Church, Cadfael, in the name of the Church. It's not the man who turns, it's the representative of Pope and Church, who must preserve the infallibility of both at all costs." Twice in 1 year, indeed, had Henry of Blois summoned his bishops and abbots to a legatine council. Once in Winchester on the 7th of April to justify his endorsement of the Empress Maud as ruler when she was in the ascendant and had her rival King Stephen securely in prison in Bristol, and now at Westminster on the 7th of December to justify his swing back to Stephen, now that the king was free again, and the City of London had put a decisive end to Maud's bid to establish herself in the capital and get her hands at last on the crown. "If his head isn't going round by now, it should be," said Cadfael, shaking his own grizzled brown tonsure in mingled admiration and deprecation. "How many spins does this make? First he swore allegiance to the lady when her father died without a male heir. Then he accepted his brother Stephen's seizure of power in her absence. Thirdly, when Stephen's star is darkened, he makes his peace, a peace of sorts at any rate, with the lady, and justifies it by saying that Stephen has flouted and aggrieved Holy Church. Now must he turn the same argument about and accuse the Empress, or has he something new in his scrip?" "What is there new to be said?" asked Hugh, shrugging. "No, he'll wring the last drop from his stewardship of Holy Church and make the best of it that every soul there will have heard it all before, no longer ago than last April. And it'll convince Stephen no more than it did Maud, but he'll let it pass with only a mild snarl or two, since he can no more afford to reject the backing of Henry of Blois than could Maud in her day. And the bishop will grit his teeth and stare his clerics in the eyes and swallow his gall with a brazen face." "It may well be the last time he has to turn about face," said Cadfael, feeding his brazier with a few judiciously placed turves to keep it burning with a slow and tempered heat. "She's thrown away what's likely to be her only chance." A strange woman she'd proved, King Henry's royal daughter. Married in childhood to the Holy Roman Emperor Henry V, she had so firmly ingratiated herself with her husband's people in Germany that when she was recalled to England after his death, the populace had risen in consternation and grief to plead with her to stay. Yet here at home, when fate threw her enemy into her hands and held the crown suspended over her head, she had behaved with such vengeful arrogance and exacted such penalties for past affronts that the men of her capital city had risen just as indignantly, not to appeal to her to remain, but to drive her out and put a violent end to her hopes of ever becoming their ruler. And it was common knowledge that, though she could turn even upon her own best allies with venom, yet she could also retain the love and loyalty of the best of the baronage. There wasn't a man of the first rank on Stephen's side to match the quality of her half-brother Earl Robert of Gloucester, or her champion and reputed lover Brian Fitzcount, her easternmost paladin in his fortress at Wallingford. But it would take more than a couple of heroes to redeem her cause now. She'd been forced to surrender her royal prisoner in exchange for her half-brother, without whom she couldn't hope to achieve anything. And here was England back to the beginning, with all to do again. For if she couldn't win, neither could she give up.